Stop hypocrisy. Archewell turns Harry and Meghan into a farce with a fatherhood report. According to the latest report, Harry and Meghan's charity Archewell is revealing support for fatherhood report from the charity, which engages men as allies in equality. They are trying to support the State of the World's Fathers Report by the Equimundo Center for Masculinities and Social Justice. In a new statement that was put out on the Archewell website, Meghan and Harry claimed they were proud to have supported this report as well as Equimundo's continued work to promote gender equality around the globe. The report discovered that men are, quote, increasingly involved in caregiving and would like to increase their care work at home, although deeply ingrained social norms and a lack of supportive policies and power structures discourage them from doing so. But it seems like this is just a whole new catastrophe for Meghan and Harry. They're just showing themselves to be big hypocrites yet again. I am just sick and tired of their platitudes. I mean, they pretend to support all kinds of stuff, but they can't put their money where their mouths are. They claim that they're worried about fathers. Well, maybe they should try apologizing to Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, and also Harry's father, King Charles, instead of worrying about some random fathers out there and their equality problems. So now all of a sudden Harry's some expert and he's going to share all his wisdom when it comes to fatherhood? It just gets more ridiculous by the day with these two. Somebody please tell me, what has Archewell really done to support this report? Or could it be that the sum total of their support was to release that statement talking about how they support it? Nothing real has been done. I am sure Thomas and Charles are going to be so proud of Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan are just clueless. They don't seem to understand that their behavior simply does not match what they say. I don't even understand what they mean when they say they support the report. What does that mean? What, did they give their time or money or staff to create the report? I doubt it. Are they creating a framework to move these ideas forward? Again, I highly doubt it. Or could it be that they're just jumping on this bandwagon because they think they can gain some traction and some good PR for themselves? I mean, to support a report does not mean a thing. I would also love to know how much has actually been distributed from this charity. This is just another bandwagon they're trying to jump on. They are trying way too hard, though, to keep themselves relevant, and they're failing. If both of them would visit both of their fathers, then maybe I could take this charity association more seriously, but I don't think that's going to happen. Harry's brother William has already been leading by example for 10 years, and he did that by his behavior, not what he said. Part of being a parent is having the kids get to know their families and teaching the kids how to work through family problems with love and compassion. That is what so many decent men out there do as fathers. Charity begins at home but does not end there. Well, maybe they should start with their relationships with their own fathers, and they should probably also let the kids get to know all their grandparents. Maybe then they would have a basis for offering some advice, but I don't believe they're going to do that. Now, the charity says they work to, quote, engage men in gender equality and social justice by, quote, transforming intergenerational patterns of harm and promoting patterns of care, empathy, and accountability among boys and men throughout their lives. Whew, that was a mouthful. I mean, whatever happened to trying to keep things simple? To me, this sounds like a whole lot of words and not a whole lot of meaning. I can see why Meghan and Harry are supporting this report. It's full of their typical word salad. I mean, how about actually doing something meaningful? What does the support actually do? It's a statement. It doesn't mean anything. There are words and, again, no real actions to support the words. Neither of them cares at all about their own fathers. And it looks to me like beginning with their own fathers would have been the best place to start. But this is just another half-baked idea to get some more money to help them pay for their security and anything else they can possibly put on that expense account. Last year, Harry tried to be open about loving fatherhood, and he said that he loved the chaos and learning of being a father. Well, maybe Harry loves being a father, so do many men out there. But he does not face the same situations that most fathers do. Harry doesn't have to worry about finding the money to pay all his family's expenses. He doesn't have to worry about going into work every day. Now, assuming the kids are real and assuming they actually live with Harry and Meghan, I can't help but wonder what they tell those kids when they ask about their grandparents. I mean, do they answer honestly or do they just move on? By their own example, I do not believe they treat him as an equal. Soon enough, those kids are going to be asking why they never get to see their grandparents. Why don't they see their cousins, their uncles, their aunts like other kids do? Especially when they belong to what has to be the most famous family in the whole world, and they have titles prince and princess. Who knows what's going to happen next with those two? I mean, whatever happened to all the other Archewell endeavors? It looks like they just move on from one failed venture to the next with a turnover of senior management, which is not going to be challenged in their world. They've got to keep Meghan looking like an angel in the headlines after all. Pretty funny to me, too, how the actual royals just do their good work and Harry and Meghan have to let everybody know about it ahead of time. They never do anything good without announcing it first. Let's remember this was the same woman who complained about non-payment doing a single royal tour when she just had millions spent on herself and her wedding to Harry. And now all of a sudden they're the authorities on every social issue out there. The fact is they're a couple of losers. They don't have real jobs. They just post their views and comments on their social media. They continue to act like Humpty Dumpty, who did have that great fall, and all the while they are grinning like maniacs with egg yolk all over their faces. They are such a laughingstock. This is simply the latest example of them being a couple of hypocrites. They live by the mantra, do as we say, not as we do, and also please give us some money. Archewell doesn't do anything directly, and it's supporting another overstaffed charity that advocates change but doesn't do anything to achieve it directly. It's very Harry and Meghan, isn't it? Supporting another just talking shop. The two of them don't deserve any kind of award or recognition. The irony of all this is pretty astounding. Most men I know are actually wonderful fathers, and most women do their best as mothers. I cannot understand what they're going on about. Sounds to me like they are stuck somewhere in the 1950s with all this equality nonsense they keep going on about. And maybe if they had real jobs, they wouldn't have so much time to spout all these platitudes. I mean, they need to be working 40 hours a week. Harry spends most of his time whining about what a hard life he has had, and Meghan whines about how people simply don't appreciate how wonderful she is. Meanwhile, in the real world, nobody cares what they have to say. Nobody cares what they think. It's interesting doublespeak, is it not? This promotion of masculinity doesn't have a thing to do with the aims of the organization, which is all about trying to emasculate men actually. No wonder they both want to promote it. Supporting a new cause, how? Words don't mean anything. Is it money or time given, or is it something else? It's all just baffling. There are thousands of fathers all over the planet who played the game and they ended up divorced and they had to go to court and they had to pay alimony and child support only for the mother to restrict his visitation rights, and then the court can't really do anything. So now you marry your partner and the government, you marry CSA and social workers, etc. No wonder men want to avoid this. If you ask me, the issue about how women's rights are being eroded is a much more important thing to talk about. If the current generation is the result of more equality in parenting, then maybe we should reverse this trend. I mean, kids of previous generations had a lot more respect for other people and their surroundings than kids today do. It's just a bunch of garbage Meghan and Harry are promoting. And you, what do you think about this news? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. And besides that, please like and share my video with anybody else who needs it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.